So guys, this is life right now. We're pulled over on a little truck stop, I guess you could say. Not really a truck stop, like a sleeping area, rest area or something like that. I made myself peanut butter and chocolate chip sandwich. I was a little bit skimpy on the chocolate chips, as you can tell. Smiley's over here driving, practicing, and we're both trying to find a place to go test. Literally an hour before gates open, national trails.
Testing tonight, and
they had testing tonight. And like I skipped lunch to make sure like we were going to be there while gates open, so we go there and we get as much testing in there as possible. But that didn't really work out. But I got a track calling me right now, so we're gonna. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video right here is slightly out of order. This is me, Lady Gangster, MVP, and Sexy are actually trying to find a place to test on Thursday before Gangster's Paradise. Wednesday, Thursday. One of the days, whatever it was, before we headed out to Gangster's Paradise. Now, if you watched the previous videos, you know I went through and worked like an idiot for the previous 10 days to convert the car over from a drop axle car to an independent front suspension car. And those videos are in the previous several videos there, along with Gangster's Paradise. But due to timing and stuff like that, we weren't able to get this video out, published or done before Gangster's Paradise. So, of course, the Gangster's Paradise, the race is already over with. But this was some of our testing that happened at the day before the race. So we got to thank Pacemakers, Outlaw, Motorsports Park in Mount Vernon, Ohio, for giving me a phone call there and letting us come out. Guys, I greatly appreciate it. It let us go top 6 out of 44 of the baddest small tire cars in the country. And if we had one more day's worth of testing, we would have done pretty well there. So guys, I appreciate all of you that like and subscribe to the channel. Look out for that 1320 document video on your All-American Hustlers that will be coming out on 1320 video before too long. And we're probably going to head up to Milan, Michigan this weekend. I really wanted to make the trip out to Outlaw Armageddon in Oklahoma City for one heck of a race. But unfortunately, due to my health issues and stuff like that and the temperature that's going to be out there, that just doesn't necessarily, I just can't pull that off. I need to get a bigger trailer with some AC in it and a tow rig that's a little bit more outfitted before we go out there and race during the summertime and that summer heat. But that's going to be one heck of a race. If you're in that area, head out there. If you're up in the Ohio, Michigan, Indiana area, Detroit Hood TV's Pour Your Own Puddle is going to be the place to be. And I think I'm going to go convert this car back over to the backside, and we're going to go see what we can pull off up there this weekend. So on this first hit right here, you can see the tire trying to work, but it has a little bit of rotation right off the hit. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. We just don't run this car that way. While it does that, it then starts porpoising the chassis slightly. So we made a shock change after that, but the car was trying to work. For our second hit, I raced up the rear of the car 1 inch.
While doing that, it changes the instant center slightly, changes the weight bias slightly, and a couple other things on a minor scale. But now that the tires have the outer casing of the rubber burnt off and are a little bit cleaner, the tires are starting to work a little bit better, and you're going to get a little bit more accurate reading on your shock and chassis settings. You can see here that the chassis is really starting to work. The tires have some wrinkle in them, the chassis is biting pretty hard, and you can see the front tire come off the ground several times within the 60 foot. But with it coming off the ground several times, that means the chassis is still slightly porpoising, meaning the weight bias is changing and we're not having a perfectly consistent pressure on the rear tire.
Alright, this is going to be the third test pass. What was with the last one?
So guys, last one I tightened up the front suspension a little bit more to hold the tire, the wrinkle in the tire. It still did a little whoop whoop kind of thing. It ran pretty good from about 10 feet out on that pass. But I'm gonna loosen up the front rebound a little bit to let it hold that tire a little bit more. And by loosening up the front rebound, it's gonna hit the tire a little bit harder. So we're gonna add a little bit of tire pressure to the rear as well to combat that, to make the car a little bit smoother. It's not a killer surface out here right now. It is just, they didn't touch it, they didn't spray it, they didn't do nothing, similar to Gangster's Paradise for this weekend. But 1 pound of tire pressure in the rear. We loosened the shocks back up to our base setting that I showed up here with, but the tires were brand new, so like you got to play with it a little bit. The sidewall starts working in after a couple passes, and it cleans off the top base layer of the rubber. So we did make that ride height change after the first hit, just because air only works unless you're a top fuel car. No. Okay, no, we'll leave that in there. But okay, so even though we got a top fuel car here, the air, when I let off the tire, it squished the suspension down a little bit. So I did tighten up the compression on the rear shocks a little bit, so that it's not going to come down as hard and touch the tire. But yeah, went 2 clicks tighter on the rebound. We're up 2 clicks on compression and rebound in the rear, and we're up half a pound from where we started with, and we shut off all of our power management, and we're just going to make the chassis take it.
Test pass 3. Action.
So guys, if I look like a beat down racer, it's because I am. I've worked like a friggin' idiot the last 10 days, but Pacemakers was nice enough to open up the track to, there's like 4 or 5 cars out here testing. This was our last pass with Straight Gangster here. This is the hit on the tire, right here, okay? And you can see the color, and can you see it with the video?
Yeah.
The color differences, okay? That's the tire, that has to do with tire pressure, okay? We're gonna walk out here. So the power I leave with and the power that's in the car for about the first second is basically the same, because you have a whole lot of other actions that's happening. You got the converter that's coupling, you got the chassis that's moving, a whole bunch of dynamics in there, okay? But you could start to see right here, the 60 foot's right here. So this is probably about like 0.8 seconds into the run, somewhere in there. We're around 0.8 seconds or so. You can see these dark lines coming out here, okay? Now,
you could hear, like, this isn't overly sticky. This is just base. War in the Woods is going to be way stickier than that, okay? Gangster's Paradise, rather. And, like, a good front side where you got, like, right now we legit have only 3 passes on this surface. We're the only one that's made hits on this left lane here today. Not for any other reason that most people want to take the right lane, and for what we're doing here with the suspension changes I've made to the car, I like being able to see my tire pressure differences and my power management differences in the track. So you can see these dark lines out here. That means the tire starts flat at the starting line here, and then it's starting to cup up. And the outside lines where my thumbs are the tire starting here, and it's starting to come up. So like the knuckle parts, the outside of the tire has a more downforce. So we don't have 100%. For every square inch of tire, 10.5 inch of tire, we want to have pretty close to the same amount of pressure on each section of that, okay? So if you have a paint roller and the inside of the paint roller is dead, and you're like, that's basically what's happening here. We're only painting the no prep surface with the outer couple inches of the tire. So we're gonna add another half a pound of tire pressure. You can see when we start getting out of this region here, you can see it become more apparent where the ribbons come out here.
Well, they're getting ready to make a pass.
Sit right here at the wall. You can see where the outside ribbons are fatter out here and narrower up here. That's because the tire's cupping more and more and more. And once you get out here, see how, like, where my finger is right here? That's about 1.5 inches wide on either side, right? So that means that tire's cupping up pretty freaking hard. And then you can see out there, go on, you can see out, where's my finger? Out there, we'll walk out there in a little bit after this guy makes his hip. You can see how it's like 3 inches wide out there, okay? Where the car's really getting after it. And so we need to add a little bit of tire pressure to that deal to keep that tire a little bit flatter and work on all 21 inches of tire that we basically have. We want to have a very consistent pressure base. The tire, but the reason for that is because of this section here, okay? For every action there's a reaction. This was the action. The reaction was losing the tire. I was able to re-stick the tire here, but you can see how fat these lines are out here, where it's not pretty. This was you can see it out there, how fat it is out there. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go through here. We're gonna add 1/2 pound of tire pressure, and then I'm gonna go make a front suspension change to accommodate that deal there. And right now, with like that tune-up right there, would have made a pretty good lick on a little bit better track. But the thing is, we want to run this car as efficient as possible, and that's not perfect efficiency.
Well, guys, I'm going to interrupt this video for a quick second to list a couple things for sale. This is a 9.8 deck big block Chevy intake, conventional head, Dart Ram with 4,500 tops. I also have the Scat Crank new in the box, 4 3/8 stroke. If you know of anything looking for one, please let us know. I also have this polished EFI tunnel ram with a shotgun barrel injector hat and a regular throttle body. If you know of anyone looking for it, please let me know. That is also a 9.8 deck intake manifold. Then, last but not least, is this HRE fabricated intake that is a friend of mine's. It came off of a really high horsepower LS deal with a DR head. Might also fit a Frankenstein head, but I got to verify on that. Comes with a fogger setup. If you're interested, reach out to hustlinhorsepower@yahoo.com. Last but not least, I'm looking for a 36-foot enclosed trailer. Ideally a 8 to 10-foot interior height, but definitely has to be taller than your regular trailers so I can fit all the merchandise in. If you know of anything, please reach out to us. I'd possibly be interested in a gooseneck trailer that is at least 36 feet on the floor, and I might just be willing to convert that over to a tag trailer if the price is right. After that last pass, we felt pretty confident heading over to Gangster's Paradise. Although it wasn't our fastest pass to date with Straight Gangster, we felt like it was on par to be able to go rounds over at Gangster's Paradise. If you haven't checked that video out yet, make sure to go over there, follow along, catch up with your All-American Hustlers.